Welcome back, all. So today we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit more of the separation. Let me just go back here. So this far we have this, right? When you click on look at your accounts, you get a listing of your accounts, but you also get the ability to create a new account, and this box is on the same page. Sort of. So we would like to separate these two. We would like to separate the listing, and we would like to separate the process of the creation of the new account. And that's what we are going to do. So we won't have a lot of new code. Actually, we'll have very little new code, if any at all. Most of the things that we'll be doing is just creating new files for the new subroutes, and we will do a lot of copy pasting of the code, actually just moving the code from one place to another. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is create ourselves 4 files. So new file, open list dot component dot ts, and let me just go ahead and copy paste this. Okay, list.component.ts, and this is gonna be HTML. And now we're gonna go a new file, and this will be create dot component dot ts, and we'll need the HTML for that as well. So HTML, there we go. So all 4 files have indeed been created. So the very first one that we will begin modifying, that we will begin implementing actually, is the list.component.ts. And from the, we're going to be pulling certain things from account.component.ts, but we'll have to actually type in some things ourselves. I mean, it's kind of difficult to pull it out from the center or something like that. Let's have a look. So let's go into the account.component.ts. And from here, the very first thing that we're going to need is this. This one. And we'll need the services, which is at the bottom. So let's just go ahead. Let's just go at it one by one. Excellent. So account services is next. Actually, you know what? Let's just let me just close these windows. Close the current one, but doesn't really matter. Okay, so list component.ts and account component.ts. So those are the two that I'm going to need, so I will interchange between the two. The next thing that we need is account service. So yeah, there's a lot of things here. Let me just see if I can be lazy and copy this from 2 parts like this. And then I'm gonna need the other part as well. Of course, we will need to perform cleanup operations in order not to have any sort of duplicates, and in order not to have any sort of code which we will not actually require anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this entire thing, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the sections which are not actually needed. So anything other than the templates and the directives, we are not going to actually require. And of course, we need to just change this. So it's going to be list now. There we go. We have managed to recycle a portion of the code. Why do I need Why did I do this like this? Yeah, let's Control S. Seems to be an error somewhere. And let me check out my notes. Right. Okay, no problems. We need to basically import the component as well. I really should be typing this, but my laziness knows no bounds. And now we're gonna go ahead and do this. This is good mouse practice to see how precise I am. Okay, we're still missing. So component, account service, and we'll need the account list as well. But let's go ahead and first export a class. Actually, you know what? Let me just type this in. Export class list component. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up this. I'm so happy when I place markers like this for myself. That's like the best feeling in the world, when you know that the labor does not need to be done. Okay, a bit of messy code, but that can be fixed. We need the account list now. We need to actually import that as well. There we go. Okay, so that one's fine. That one's fine. These are sort of fine. Okay, now it should all be fine, well and dandy. I don't actually need these. These should be gone, and that is it. That is all that we need to do with this file in order to implement it. So as you saw, we didn't do anything new. The only piece of code that we've changed is the list.component. Now press Control S to save this. We'll be doing cleanup work on this, but not just yet. We need to implement the 3 other files, and then we're gonna go ahead and perform the cleanup. So account component.html. Okay, so these two, there isn't really that much to do. I've made a small marker for myself here, what to copy. So just Control X and Control V. There you go, that's it. Just Control S, and let me go ahead and delete this as well. And Control S. That's it as far as that HTML is concerned, so we don't actually need to do anything else there. Next, we need to go into the createComponent.ts, which is going to be a little bit larger, and we again need to pull from accountComponent.ts. So again, we need to be actually pulling from this file in order to be able to actually implement the createComponent.ts. So first of all, we have some imports. Let's see. We will need viewChild, and we will need component, and we won't need injector. And okay, we'll need the account as well. So we're going to go ahead and just pull that. And account service. I hate the 2 parts. Actually, let's just do it like this, and then I'll delete it. Okay. There we go. And just keep in mind that I'm pressing Control Save as I go. And form. We're gonna need the form as well. So everything that I'm doing here is actually saved. Okay, so at component, at component, if I type this right, yep, up component, and let's go ahead and type in our template URL. So template URL app/account/create/ and now it's actually create.component component.html. And I have an extra create here, just a typo. And we're going to need a directive down below. So let's go ahead and type in, let's go ahead and create our directive. Account form. All right. Just made an error there, but it's fine. No big deal. Those are just spelling errors anyway. Export class, create, export class, create component. And now, let me just see if I can make use of this part here. Not gonna need the upper one. So, doop. And let's put it like this. Not gonna need this. And let's just do a little bit of a garbage disposal, so to say, a very cruel word in this particular scenario, but oh well. Now we're gonna need a private create string, and we'll need the private create account and remove account and view child. Okay. Okay. Now I need to go create account below the constructor and just paste this in, and let's see what all the errors are about. Export class. Okay, so this is, let me just do a short checkup. So these are closed here. All is fine and dandy. Control S, and that's it. So that's it. We don't actually need to do anything else in the TS file. Now we need to go ahead and mess around with the component.html. So create component.html, and this one also, it kind of needs things to be placed in here. So let me just go ahead and write this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just copy it from here. Excellent. Save. So that is literally all that we need to do. Afterwards, in the next tutorial, we'll just perform cleanup operations on the account.component.html and account.component.ts, because now they have a lot of redundant code which needs to be basically removed, and they will be significantly downsized. Bid you farewell and hope to see you in the follow-up.